New York, a place where one can escape to find themselves surrounded with lights and tall buildings, where they find themselves surrounded by people from all around the world to not only learn about the culture of New York, but to find their love and passion for art filled all over the city. In the summer of 2017, my sister and I flew to New York City for a 4-day getaway vacation. We stayed in the center of Times Square, New York, the home of Broadway. This is where I discovered my love for musicals and theater. My sister and I got the opportunity to see Dear Evan Hansen live in Broadway. I was so amazed with the musical production that I immediately downloaded the complete soundtrack to my phone. You Will Be Found, Waving Through a Window, For Forever, and Anybody Have a Map are some of my favorite songs from the musical. The lyrics to the songs make the Broadway much more impactful and memorable. I remember listening to the song You Will Be Found live performed, and I had tears in my eyes. Not only did the song bring more meaning to the plot of the musical, but I remember just having goosebumps while listening. It gave me much more hope. The song reminded me of all the difficult times I had in my life and gave me hope to keep going, because I knew I wasn't alone. I was so speechless by the end of the musical that I couldn't believe I never had seen a musical before. My sister, who has always shared her love for musicals and theater, inspired me to listen and watch more musicals. I remember being at home and just listening to the music from various musical soundtracks just being blasted inside the bathroom from my sister's speaker. I used to be annoyed of her addiction to always listening to musicals, but after watching Dear Evan Hansen and having my eyes bought out from the music and production of the show, I started to cave in to listening it on my own. I would remember looking up different musicals on YouTube and just spending hours listening to various new musical soundtracks, such as Hamilton, Wicked, Rent, and Waitress. I would be so amazed to the music that I would wish I got another experience to see another one live. But lucky for me, I did. In September 2019, my sister and I drove to Hollywood to see Hamilton live. I cannot lie, Hamilton was nothing compared to Dear Evan Hansen. I did enjoy Hamilton, but the musical did not speak to me as much as Dear Evan Hansen did. That's when it spoke to me. I love musicals that give a bigger meaning outside of the performance. Although Hamilton was really good and it was about an important historical figure, Dear Evan Hansen was in the top of my expectations. Before watching Dear Evan Hansen and Hamilton live, I did not know much about musicals. In fact, I never associated musicals to be the same as a form of art. I would associate musicals to be cliché and corny. I would also associate them to be like Disney movies where out of nowhere characters just jump out and sing. Like High School Musical. And although that is partly true, musicals and theater productions are art. They are art because they require skill and imagination to put the production together. They all require all forms of art to make the musical production come to life. In musical, all forms of art, like dance, music, acting, and visual art, is combined together to form one solid form of art. Musicals can be about anything. For example, Hamilton was about the life and journey of the great founding father Alexander Hamilton. But Dear Evan Hansen was about Evan, who had social anxiety. Musicals can be sad, positive, joyful, funny. They could be about historical figures or events, or they could be made up. Just like a movie or book, musicals are created by using imagination and creativity. My sister told me it once, and I'll say it here. Musicals aren't for everyone, but there are musicals for everyone. Just like how I did not enjoy Hamilton as much as I did for Dear Evan Hansen, it didn't make me less like musicals and theater. I just preferred made-up productions, musicals that I can relate to and cry to. With this class, I learned a lot about musicals and theater. I learned more about the arts of it and how I can use music and theater inside the classroom to not only engage them and increase their knowledge of theater, but also hope to grow my students' love for musicals as much as me. To continue listening to soundtracks of various musicals and theater production inside my classroom and outside the classroom, and have my students also create their own musicals and plays. I will continue spreading my love for the art of musicals and theater to generations after generations. I hope once this whole coronavirus pandemic ends, I will get myself inside another Broadway show in New York. There are so many Broadway shows I want to watch. For when you leave New York, your love for Broadway and musicals never ends. And that's my journey on how I became such a musical theater nerd.